President Trump just tilted the scale in the New Jersey governor's race in a big way by endorsing Jack Ciattarelli. But is Jack pro 2A? Can we trust him? Or is he a rhino and just another disaster waiting to happen? Let's get to it. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you did not already know, my name's Jay Casa, and I am just a red-blooded American patriot living behind enemy lines, some would say, here in the great state of New Jersey. And if you get value after watching this video, please do me a favor and smash that like button down below, and also consider subscribing because we are building a community. You see it in that comment section down below of like-minded individuals who are looking to fight for, protect, and defend our Second Amendment rights here in the state of New Jersey, as well as other blue states like it. So if that interests you, hit the subscribe button and that notification bell so you can stay up to date on our weekly videos. And in this video, I wanted to cover a very important topic on our New Jersey governor's race. Whether or not former Assemblyman and current frontrunner, I would say, Jack Ciattarelli, is pro-Second Amendment at all, or if he's just a wolf in sheep's clothing. So I'm gonna go over his voting record on 2A issues in the past, how his positions have changed and evolved, if at all, what other pro-Second Amendment advocates and organizations think of Jack as a candidate, as well as share with you whether or not you should support Jack for governor in November in order to flip our great state from blue to red. So first, let's get started with Jack Ciattarelli's voting record on Second Amendment issues. Ciattarelli was elected to the New Jersey State Assembly in 2011. Shortly thereafter, for a little bit of context, in December of 2012, one of the worst mass shootings in U.S. history occurred at the Sandy Hook Elementary School in Connecticut. This was 13 years ago now, but if you don't remember or weren't paying attention, there was a massive amount of pressure from the federal level as well as the state level to pass, quote, comprehensive gun reform. This included pretty much every single gun control measure you could possibly think of. Universal background checks, magazine bans, etc., etc., etc. So, in 2013, dealing with that massive political pressure to pass these anti-Second Amendment measures, Jack Ciattarelli chose largely not to, and chose to defend our Second Amendment rights instead. He voted against a ban on .50 caliber rifles, which passed but was vetoed by Governor Christie. He also said no to a bill declaring gun violence a public health crisis that same year, though it did eventually become law anyway. He stood firm against universal background checks in 2013 and voted against a high-capacity magazine ban in 2014, which would have dropped New Jersey's mag limit at the time from 15 down to 10 rounds. That mag ban, as we know, was vetoed by Chris Christie, but later signed by Murphy in 2018 after Jack Ciattarelli already left office. These votes show Ciattarelli has a pretty consistent history of fighting against some of Trenton's toughest gun control measures. But his record is not perfect. Nobody's is. There are a few votes to question. In 2015, he voted yes on a bill requiring law enforcement notification before expunging involuntary mental health commitment records for firearm license applicants. The vote was 74-0, but after Chris Christie vetoed it, Ciattarelli voted no on overriding that veto, though the override passed anyway. In 2016, he supported a bill requiring law enforcement to sign criminal complaints in domestic violence cases involving firearms, which Christie vetoed as redundant. In 2017, he abstained on a measure requiring mental health professionals to report dangerous patients and seize their firearms, which later tied into Murphy's 2021 red flag law. And in 2018, he voted yes on the bump stock ban signed by Christie just before leaving office. These mixed votes led the NRA to give Ciattarelli a B rating in 2021, which was the first time he ran for governor, coming within 80,000 some odd votes of Bucktooth Murphy. Now, the NRA based this on his record and questionnaire responses at the time. Some of you may be thinking, a B, that is not nearly enough for me. I won't vote for anything other than an A, right? Fair enough. But the good news is his positions and his mindset seems to have shifted a bit on the Second Amendment here in 2025. The New Jersey Firearm Owner Syndicate, which is a major voice and a major group for New Jersey gun owners, is rating Jack Ciattarelli an A here in 2025. Joe Laporto from the New Jersey Firearm Owner Syndicate, who I know personally is a great guy and very well versed on these issues, says this is due to Jack's campaign rhetoric, his updated questionnaire responses, and a public agenda prioritizing Second Amendment protections. Joe calls it a, quote, positive evolution, which is huge in a state with some of the strictest gun laws in the nation. the New Jersey Firearm Owners Syndicate was so impressed by the policy evolution of Ciattarelli on the Second Amendment, they just decided to fully endorse him as the New Jersey gubernatorial candidate for the Republican Party. Mark Chessman, also of the New Jersey Firearm Owners Syndicate, said on May 14th, quote, "After much consideration and research, and given the extraordinary circumstances surrounding our Second Amendment rights, I have decided the best course of action concerning the state of New Jersey gubernatorial race is to indeed endorse Jack Ciattarelli as our next sitting governor." After mentioning much of his voting record that we already just discussed, he then says, quote, "In addition, I have personally spoken with Jack a number of times, and the answers I have received convince me that Jack understands how government works and how our legislature works. He has assured me that he will appoint a strong advocate for Second Amendment rights for Attorney General. He has made no promises other than to give us a seat at the table to discuss and consult with him on Second Amendment issues going forward. Many of you have been deluded in believing a governor can pass executive orders to restore our rights. This deluded lie holds no weight. Our framers specifically set up a bicameral system of government. Senate and Assembly or legislative branch consists of lawmakers voted by the people. Only through the legislative branch can laws change. Jack will work with the legislature to ensure the best possible outcome of Second Amendment rights." This New Jersey Firearm Owners Syndicate endorsement came directly on the heels of another major endorsement the day prior, and I'm sure played a role in the decision to endorse Jack. On May 13th, Alan Gottlieb, the founder of the Second Amendment Foundation and chairman of the Citizens Committee for the Right to Keep and Bear Arms, personally endorsed Jack Ciattarelli for governor. Gottlieb called Jack the, quote, Second Amendment's strongest chance in New Jersey, praising his, quote, near perfect voting record and willingness to listen to advocacy groups in a state he describes as a political landmine for gun rights. Gottlieb said, quote, "New Jersey was the first to ratify the Bill of Rights, yet the last to recognize it." And he believes Ciattarelli's leadership can change that. With the GOP primary pitting Jack Ciattarelli against Bill Spadea and John Bramnick, Gottlieb says Jack's proven record beats untested rhetoric. Gottlieb is a titan in the Second Amendment world, founder of the Second Amendment Foundation, a key figure in starting the Firearms Policy Coalition, and respected by civil rights attorneys and Second Amendment organizations nationwide for winning multiple cases across the United States. This endorsement is a game changer, especially with mail-in ballots already out and the primary just weeks away. So, is Jack a pro-Second Amendment guy that you're gonna see at the range on a Saturday? No. I don't even think he owns a gun. But you don't have to be a gun enthusiast to be pro-Second Amendment. Heck, I know people who are gun enthusiasts that don't even believe in the Second Amendment. Go check out the liberal gun owners subreddit. It's wild. But anyway, on the other hand, is Jack a guy that votes in favor of red flag laws and background checks like many would like you to believe? As you can see, the answer is clearly no. He has only voted against 2A advocacy 3 times in his entire voting tenure, in one of the most aggressively anti-Second Amendment state assemblies in the nation. And I am confident that he will give us a seat at the table and also appoint a very pro-Second Amendment Attorney General, which is in some ways even more important. Nobody's record is perfect. Look at President Trump on the federal level. I have my doubts that President Trump has ever even shot a firearm. And he has supported publicly in the past taking firearms without due process, and of course the bump stock ban, right? But you know what? You still probably voted for him. And you should be glad that you did. Because if you decide to, let's say, sit out an election because you thought Trump was just a wolf in sheep's clothing and he lost, we wouldn't have the Supreme Court that we have right now. That Supreme Court decided on the Bruen decision, which allowed people like you and me in a state like New Jersey to now conceal carry. We weren't able to before that. So please, please, don't let perfect get in the way of good, or at least a massive improvement that is much needed in this state. Does that mean you have to go vote for Jack in the primary? Of course not. I'm not here to tell you who to vote for in June. Vote for who you want to support. They all have their pros and their cons. But I made this video to make it clear to everybody watching this video and interested in the Second Amendment in blue states like New Jersey that you should vote for Jack in November if he's the nominee, and you should do it proudly, because the stakes are too high to play games just on our side. We already know what Governor Murphy has done and tried to do and attempted to do to our Second Amendment rights. Don't let Mickey Sherrill get the reins. Don't let Josh Gottheimer get the reins. It's gonna be just as bad, if not worse. It is extremely important right now to start building a coalition around the nominee in order to give us the best chance to win in November, so we can finally have a seat at the table in our state government. This is the only way to establish that solid change on this issue of our God-given Second Amendment rights. so that we can finally exercise our freedom and rights instead of living in fear of being turned into an instant felon because of them. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This is gonna be an interesting one. Let me know in that comment section down below who you're voting for in the primary, and if it's gonna be Jack or not. And if it's not Jack, are you still planning on voting for him in November? Let me know in that comment section down below, and I will see you next time.